Four champions remain, and the final day is upon us. Welcome to the Intel Extreme Masters Taipei for Championship Sunday. The semi-finals and the final will be played out today. We'll finally get our winner here after 5 days of StarCraft 2 action. And will it be a return winner in the form of our former GSL champion and former Intel Extreme Masters champion, Life? Maru for the first time here at the Intel Extreme Masters. Could he be a Royal Roader at the IEM? We'll find out as we go through our 2 semi-finals today. Joining him on the desk once more, Apollo, Kalaris and Susie. Welcome to all of you. It's a very exciting day. I woke up early this morning and the first thing I thought of was like, oh my word, we've probably got the best 2 semi-finals of an Intel, certainly of an Intel Extreme Masters, and maybe of all time in StarCraft, in the sense that they're great players, they've got great fan bases, but they're all in top condition right now as well.
I've been doing StarCraft commentary since 2010, and to be honest, I was thinking this morning, has there been a better top 4? And nothing could come out, and so this has to be it. This has to be it.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. James, what are your thoughts?
It's very good. Even the top 8 for me was absolutely fantastic. Yeah, and then the most anticipated match for me, maybe not for everybody, being Rain Sulky yesterday, it didn't disappoint. It was wacky, but it didn't disappoint, so I was happy.
Yeah. How would you sum up your feelings on the quarterfinals yesterday, Susie?
Yesterday's quarterfinals were a ton of fun to watch. I actually really do like PartinG's cheese style. It's just fun to watch, and you don't really get to see it very often. Well, from anyone else but him anyway. I actually really expected Hero and Rain to make it, but
I think a lot of people
we've got
yesterday.
Maru and Sulky, which in a way is nice because now we have a Terran and a Zerg and 2 Protoss players, so we can mix it up a little bit and it won't just be a full Protoss ending here.
Yeah, absolutely. Before we go any further, let's take a look at the bracket to bring you right up to date with all of our scores on the doors. Our 4 matches were played out yesterday. PartinG winning 3-0 against Classic, Life 3-1 against Hyun, and the bottom half of the bracket saw our former champion CJ and Hero crashing out this time, or as Maynard put it, excused from the tournament by Maru 3-1. Sulky then winning in the match of the day, which ended 3-2. He was the comeback king yesterday after being 2-1 down in that final game against Rain, and he has been the comeback king throughout the tournament. Remember, he's the only man left in the tournament who started in the open bracket, and he started with a defeat against True in his very first game. He also then nearly lost to the local man Haas in the lower bracket round 1 as well, so he really has come a long way, from almost not getting in through the bracket, and then almost not getting into the groups, and then almost not getting out of the groups.
Yeah, and he's the weakest player in the top 4 as well. There's so many times where everyone's like, all right, well, Sulky's done. Oh, no, no, he's not. And I think we saw that yesterday in the quarterfinals. 2-1 down against Rain to come back to win 3-2. And, it's been his history, too. His games against Innovation back in 2013 when he turned around the GSL finals. And he's turned around his tournament every step of the way.
Almost has that never say die attitude that you love about those kind of players.
It's actually kind of funny that you say that Sulky is the weakest player here. I mean, when would you ever say something like that?
That's a good point, yeah, exactly, 4 players left and Sulky's the worst player in the semi-finals. Right? It's ludicrous. Before we go any further, we are going to preview our first semi-final. But before we do that, there is one man who possibly stands out amongst a sea of talent. And it is, of course, the wild child, the man who loves being, well, PartinG.
He is so good player, have a talent and good skill. So many money, I get so many girls. So I jealous his life, but this time I destroyed him and he maybe crush. I crush him, so he GG coming soon. I always practice at my home in Korea, so I have confidence and I can crush him and die. Coming soon 3-0, and because many fans know me, PartinG always cheese and cheese PartinG, cheese man. So life 100%, no 1000% can't depend, and he coming soon. So many tears flow and cry and go to home. Bye bye. I don't care. Two guys, come on, I don't care. Sulky and Maru, I don't care. Very noob boss. Hey life, big boy is coming.
Oh, PartinG.
He's that kind of character. I think we've learned that. If we didn't know it before, we knew it at Home Story Cup. But if you missed it at home, we've definitely got part 2 of PartinG. And we know all about his personality here. A lot of that is bravado, but a lot of it is confidence as well.
It's just parting. I think you described it best when you introed the video. That's just how he is.
Yeah.
And for anybody who's never met him before, who's never seen him at these tournaments, that's exactly how he acts.
He is actually like that, yeah.
And he can back it up as well. We've seen him win the craziest of games, even this tournament, and he hasn't dropped a map yet. So I'm not going to hold it against him.
Yeah, I actually feel like I'm in privileged company, by the way, because the night before last, I was in the lift going up, and then I forgot that I was going down, and I forgot that I needed something. So I stayed in the lift and went back up, and he got in, and he said, he just looked at me, he was like, what do you do? And I was like, oh, I need to go back to my room. And he's like, so noob. So I feel like I'm in good company with you know, Maru and with Sulky, because if they're noobs, then, well,
you're on the same level
I'm
as them.
okay with that. Yeah, I'm perfectly good. I mean, joking aside, he has that confidence now. He's not dropped a single map in the group stages or in the quarterfinal. Some of his peers said 2 days ago he can't play best of fives. That's where he's weakest.
Yeah.
He didn't show any signs of that yesterday. I don't know if he's going to show any signs of it today, but it's a much bigger test, Sean.
It's a much bigger test, because Protoss versus Protoss, that wasn't the test that he wanted to have in a best of five. Today's going to be the true test. Life is a champion. Life is a warrior. He's the BlizzCon champion. So that's where it's truly going to come in. But no matter how you look at it, best of five or best of seven, PartinG's going to be looking at this, saying, okay, there's 2 Zergs in the tournament. I'm very good against Zerg, and the map pool actually favors my playstyle. The map pool doesn't favor Protoss, I don't think, right now, but it favors PartinG because he likes these 2 base plays. And if you don't understand how the map pool works, it's difficult to take a third, but what if he never takes a third? And that's how PartinG plays. And then he's got, what, 1 Terran who he's already destroyed 2-0? I'm sure he's more than confident.
Absolutely. I mean, the strangest thing, James, is that when you look at the group stages, we've got all 4 players from groups C and D, none from A or B. I don't know whether that maybe backs up our theory that C and D were the tougher the groups.
Yeah, again, a lot of the talent in there was very, very high indeed. And when it comes to life, I mean, what Sean was saying about how the map pool favors parting because there's like these 2 base tacks that goes on. For me, when I look at life, I feel that he's one of the best players at preparing against aggressive Protoss. I mean, look at what he did to San at BlizzCon because he knew how he was going to play. Of course, parting can play a little further than that, but there is the potential here that Life can just come in very prepared to deal with aggression and then just crush it.
On that subject, Susie, we've had some information that Life might have been out on the town last night and had a bit of a good time.
He had a good time.
Might not be in his best condition, let's put it like that.
You know, when I talked to him, he just said, you know, I'm here, I'm in a foreign tournament, I'm just, PartinG's my Hyung. Hyung is like older brother. He was just like, we're out here, I want to have a good time, I want to just give good games, and, you know, so I think he's just kind of, I'm not sure, maybe it's just his way of being very, oh, there he is.
Yeah.
Well, has he fallen over yet? No, so he's okay on that level.
He's all right, but I don't know, I mean.
Plenty of support from the crowd as well.
Yeah.
And here is PartinG. Look at him working the crowd. No, in PartinG, when I walked in, I said, hey, and even before I even asked him anything, he just comes to me and goes, I won this, I won it, and he goes, I'm going to treat this like a final. He goes, I think in the finals it would be me in Life anyway. So yeah, I think he's just super, super confident.
Still sticking with your assertion that there were no fallings over there?
Well, he almost fell over into the booth.
No,
I don't know.
was.
He had a quick look to the sky there. Maybe a quick couple of prayers up above, because he's going to need it. PartinG's on fire. He's a killer, and he's not going to give any room, any breathing space to Life. He's going to be all over him from the very get-go.
We talked briefly just before we came on air, you and I, that technically, I mean, it's not straight back-to-back, but technically, internationally, if PartinG were to win at the Intel Extreme Masters, he would have won, for the first time in his career, back-to-back international titles. And that's huge in terms of where he was in 2012 as the WCS World Champion. And we haven't really seen that kind of PartinG form ever since, until Home Story Cup at the end of last year.
Yeah, he was pretty quiet, I'd like to say, last year. He definitely, you know, had his games here and there, but he was quiet. This year is the year that everyone's going to know about PartinG if they didn't already. He's going to be gunning for BlizzCon. He's going to be wanting to win BlizzCon. He's already told all of us here that he wants to qualify and play at the World Championship for the Intel Extreme Masters.
He hasn't done that since 2012.
No,
2013, he didn't make top 16.
To be
2014.
fair,
didn't make top 16, but he was the world champion in 2020. This is a clash of the world champions in WCS. 2012 versus 2014.
To be fair, he was on SKT, and it was hard for him to come out and do all these international
because they sucked, right?
Yeah, that team. What a noob team they are. No, but you know, he had said that he wanted more chances to come out to more international tournaments and just kind of test waters outside of Korea. And I think him changing teams to go to Yowie Flash Wolves has really allowed him to do that.
You're absolutely right. No doubt about the fact that he will have looked at all of the players in 2013, 2014, and he probably would have looked at the top 16 and gone, half of these are scrubs. Half of these guys are noobs. I should be definitely playing. And he will have been absolutely frustrated, and that must have played a big part in the move to Yowie Flash Wolves.
Do you remember also, though, you just said that he really wants to go to the World Championship in Katowice. Do you remember how he went out of the qualifier for Katowice last time when he was saying, my 100K?
Yes.
I talked to him after that, and he was so disheartened at the fact that he wasn't going to Katowice. Because he, again, had other obligations if he wasn't able to qualify through that qualifier.
And I'm glad you brought that up, because there are 2 spots on the line. He doesn't have one just yet. So
if he wins
this match, never mind the final, wins this match, he has a spot in Katowice. That's guaranteed for him.
It's a big deal.
It is a big deal for him. How much is that going to play on his mind? Or does he not care about that once he's in the booth and he's focused and he's ready for the game?
I think he is not even thinking about any of those things right now. He's thinking about how fast can I end this and go to the finals.
Okay, let's talk a little bit more about life, because we haven't really covered him too much. 2014 world champion. We're almost writing him off as the underdog in this particular game, but he is the reigning world champion, youngest ever world champion, one of the youngest players to play in GSL, youngest ever winner of the GSL, Royal Roader in the GSL. I mean, he's been there, he's done it, even though he's 18 years of age. He has everything behind him in terms of 8 championships. You said it yesterday, over $300,000 in prize money. If he wins this one, he actually goes 3rd in the all-time list, which is absurd when you think how short his career has been so far.
He is Zerg. Like, that is how to describe life. He is Zerg. He is the #1 I like to look at. Over the years in StarCraft 2, he's the best Zerg that we've seen throughout the entire of StarCraft 2. The thing is with life, right now, his biggest problem, and we can quote him from Star League or GSL, whichever one it is, he doesn't really understand and know how to play against Protoss, and that is his biggest weakness coming into this. He's great against Zerg, we've already seen that. He's great against Terran, we've already seen that, but he doesn't know how to play against Protoss. He's been trying Swarm Host play and it hasn't been working. If we think back to Star League when he played against CJ Hero, in the first set, he tried to play his normal game, which he's practiced hard, Swarm Host, got destroyed, had to resort to cheese. That's the only way he could win. And he's in the middle of figuring out how to play this matchup. And you don't want to be figuring out how to play a matchup in a semi-final
against
of a tournament.
Especially against a player like PartinG, who is pretty fearless, as we've been able to see this entire week.
Absolutely. All right, prediction time then before we head into the match. Susie?
I'm going to go with PartinG.
Okay.
I think I might have to go with PartinG, actually. 3-1, I think.
All right. And Sean?
I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. Life!
Wait, there it is.
I don't know what I have to. I have to.
Whatever it was, you did it. I'm so happy for you.
The Zerg in him came forward.
I'm going to do it. I think... No, I'm not... Life.
Let's end it there.
Okay.
Okay, Apollo chooses life. You can make of that what you want. Ligulac also chooses PartinG, not just for this matchup, but also for the entire thing. That's right, they have him as the favourite right now for the Intel Extreme Masters Championship here in Taipei. Time for our first semi-final. It's a best of 5 that you do not want to miss. Ring your mum and dad, get your aunt and uncle in, talk to all your friends, and make sure they're tuned in to the Intel Extreme Masters Taipei with our first match with Maynard and Todd.
Okay. Well, that's not us at all. That's the desk. But hi, everyone. Welcome to the Intel Extreme Masters in Taipei. I am Maynard, and with me is Todd, my French brother from another mother. How you doing, man?
I'm doing great, man. PartinG versus Life is definitely one of those matches that every StarCraft fan will be doing great for. And I'm no exception. I like good high-level PvZ, even though I'm expecting we're not necessarily going to see your typical PvZ because cheeky little boy, and he's been doing a lot of cheese and gimmicks, you know?
Yeah.
He's been playing to his image a lot. In a lot of his matches against Hydra, against Life, he's faced Life twice, actually, not too long ago. Once online, or actually twice online, in a cup, in an invitational cup, and for the very qualifier for this tournament. But as always, I'm not gonna rush into trying to explain all of this to you guys. We should definitely look to jump into the game momentarily. Before I do just that, I have a lot to say, man.
Oh,
I could
bet
write
you
a
do.
book about these two.
You look like you're ready to burst at the seams with PartinG versus Life knowledge. I mean, these two guys have been around for a very long time. Life obviously been brought up several times at this tournament as the world champion, and PartinG has been world champion, but not for a few years now. And we know he's very, very aggressive. He likes he'll proxy racks. He'll proxy gateway. He'll proxy oracle. He'll immortal choo-choo, as he said with his own words, and make life pretty tough for a Zerg. And life wasn't looking all that fresh this morning as he walked into the booth there on stage. So hopefully there's nothing going on there. But in the top right, from Yoey Flash Wolves, already sending a probe out. This is PartinG. And in the bottom left from StarTale, the greatest Zerg. This is Life.
Okay, so these two, they faced each other twice in the last months. One time was in an online cup, which I casted actually. And they played on the older map pool. They played, I think it was Overgrowth, Foxtrot, and Sejong. So it was very cheesy games, actually. The first game was a proxy gate on Overgrowth, which worked.
Yep.
The last game was a cannon rush on Sejong that failed. Only the Foxtrot game was, I guess, a failed cannon rush into basically some kind of all-in with like loss of sentries and gateway units that also failed. So back then it was Live that won. But in the very qualifier for this tournament, these two met. And back then it was PartinG that was able to win with some very nice game. I think actually the third game was on merry-go-rounds.
Yeah.
And he basically went up to 3 bases and Live threw a lot of units at him. He killed the third base, but he lost too much, and in the end they went into a base trade, and PartinG was able to defend and won from there. So definitely not going to be too scared to go into the later stages of the game, but overall, gonna want to look to always open very aggressively. By the look of things here, it's going to be a cannon rush. It's funny because Life is the original guy, he's the original Zerg that's almost always open hatch first, even though he knew he was going to get cannon rushed. And look what happens here. He opens hatch first. He knew that PartinG was going to cannon rush no matter what. He already knew that was going to happen. And now it's going to be for him to see how he defends it.
Well, there's a full wall up with these pylons here, and that is one cannon going down already. He's just going to drop these two cannons and probably send the probe through. Yeah, the mineral trick, and going hatch first against PartinG. I mean, this decision from Life is questionable at best, but I mean, Life either feels very confident here that he can hold this with just the drones.
PartinG should be renamed the Architect, man.
Oh,
look at this.
He is just dropping all these cannons here, playing a game of Sin City on the top of that ramp in the front of the Natural of Life. And the one cannon has already gone up. He's trying to take a third, but the drone dies on the way, and he has to cancel the hatchery.
Two of them sneaked out. So Life, they actually had the game like this. They actually had a game like this in the online tournaments that I casted. It was on Foxtrot. PartinG cannon natural, Life took the gold base in the middle, and then from there he made a lot of units and ended up winning the game. So might be looking to just repeat that here on this game with an opener in which Life had to cancel that natural, but he escaped with true drones. That's a massive win. I feel like Life, I kind of like this situation. Like, he's not super far ahead or anything, but being able to take the gold like this and another base as well, he's definitely going to be okay.
Well, he's dropping a hatchery here, and it looks like PartinG wants to try and bully that off the map with another cannon.
Yeah. The thing is, it's very hard to tell if it's going to be worth it, but at the same time, because like usually one of the golden rules of cannon rushing is that you shouldn't cannon rush more than one base, because then it becomes too expensive and it slows down you take a lot. And in this case, Life knows that this was going to happen. He sees it with his Overlord. He's going to sneak out with Lings, and it's just not going to happen. But PartinG's mindset here, he basically knew what I just mentioned, that you shouldn't cannon rush more than one base, but a gold base is so strong that it kind of cancels that fact.
Yeah.
You can't let a Zerg go for a gold base, and in this case, Life's going to be able to.
So with that gold base, you think Life's going to try and hit back, be counter-aggressive here against PartinG?
Not necessarily. I think he's just going to want to drone up, get a lot of approaches out, kill those cannons outside of his natural, so he can finally leave his main with whatever he wants to reinforce with. And then from there, he can just decide how aggressive he wants to play. But, I mean, it's PartinG he's playing against. PartinG is most likely gonna be the one that wants to play aggressive. You have to be the one that plays aggressive against a gold base. Like, you can't let a Zerg sit on a gold base and do nothing. He's just gonna outproduce you completely.
Yeah, don't even get the drones up. It's always how I lose my TVZs. So 3 hatcheries up here for Life, and He's starting that drone production, getting some lings out in the field as well. Just, I would imagine, looking for pylons, anything that he can see, anything out in the map outside the natural parting.
It's so tricky to play against parting because against most Protosses, usually scouting whether they are cheesing or playing macro means everything, and it's going to give you a nice lead. Parting's execution is so good that even though you might scout that he's cheesing, it doesn't matter. You're still going to lose a lot of the time. And here, I mean, this is why Life has had a rocky start.
Yeah.
And I really like that, by the way, he's clearing those, I guess it's called the ice. Those rocks here for the back door.
Destructible rocks at the top of the main. It's a nice little path there where he doesn't have to deal with the cannons.
The architect, man.
Parting is walling in these cannons with 4 gateways at the front of Life's natural, well, I guess where his natural would have been. And Life's going to see this with his Overlord as he floats on over. But that rocks at the top is actually going to help Life out a little bit. It'll mean his units can get out without taking any damage at all.
30 as they come, Maynard. 7 gates.
Oh my boy.
Cannon rush into 7 gates. Parting's keeping it real this series. Baneling Nest going down here means that Life, he's going to renegade. Mostly only Zerglings and Banelings with some roaches.
Exactly. He's making 22 lings right now. He has a Roach Warren, but no roaches just yet. The Baneling Nest obviously going to be decent against gateway units. And not too bad for busting as well if he wants to go for a counterattack, if he has an efficient trade, if he has anything left over.
You know why this is so smart? Because getting slow roaches here will be so hard for Life to go around the map. He has 3 base splits very far apart. If he went for roaches, Parting would just swap in units where there are no roaches and then crush his opponent. Whereas here, Life, he's gonna get Zerglings everywhere, he's gonna morph them into Banelings, and he should be fine, really. He's gonna not only bust at the front against Parting, but have enough links back at home to defend.
Parting going to try and wall in some Zerglings here and get a good shave off of the Zergling bunch with some force fields. Sentry's just at the bottom of the ramp there. The Stalker's on hold position.
Parting needs to warp in sentries. He needs to warp. Oh my god, he warps sentries around the map. He's not going to have them back at home.
A big Baneling bunch from Life. He takes down a pylon, gets through the Stalker. More Banelings left over. They're getting into the main. Parting finishes off his wall. The cannon's going to go down though, and these slings are going to go unattested for now. He's going to get through, man. That pylon's going down. Lots and lots of lings still left over. Life's in the natural. Parting in the main of Life. Life has lots of lings. He's got to surround around one of the sentries. The force fields keeping him at bay for now. The drones are pulled. The zealots are getting touched on.
Parting may be dead back at home, but by the look of things, he's going to do more damage in Life's main. Life's getting the much better end of this so far.
Life's got 20 probes in this attack so far. He's in the main. He's tearing it apart. 5 drones have gone down in this attack. But, I mean, Parting is just sitting there on the ramp. There's not a whole lot he can do.
And this is a common sight. Life's lings are going to get in. I mean, they had some Banelings in support this time, but still, they always get in no matter what.
They're Life's lings, man. Life lings always get the job done. Surrounding the sentries are dead. The Stalkers are going to die as well. And Life looking pretty good right now with the 29 drones killed. And there's the GG. Life gets himself game number 1 against the very aggressive opening of Parting. Oh, is that a bit of humility there? Maybe a touch.
Going into this match, Parting predicted a 30 minutes best of 5 series.
Yeah. Well, not everyone can get their predictions right, Todd, as I'm sure a lot of the panelists will agree. There's going to be...
Are you hating on me?
Life's not going to go down without a fight, that's for sure. A lot of people favoring Parting here. I'm personally still favoring Life. I think that, you know, he's the best Zerg in the world. He's going to be able to do this. I'm with my mate Apollo there on the desk. This is going to be Life's series, man. I'm calling it.
You know, as much as I like the series where you don't really know what to expect or you get surprised, I really like this kind of series as well, where both players know what they're going to do and then they do it and then you see how it develops. And so far, it's been Life who's been getting the better end of things.
That's right. We'll see if he continues to get the better end of things with Game 2 coming up shortly. We're just going to take a 1.5-minute break. Please don't go away. See you soon. G'day Twitch chat, welcome back. Intel Extreme Masters Taipei, game number 2 between Life and PartinG about to begin. That's an interesting fashion choice that you've gone for there.
Yeah, I mean, very nice first game here. Life, he knew what was going to happen. He picked the right defense, and in the end, just very convincing with the goal taking. I feel like on a map where there wouldn't be a goal base, it might be a very different game, to be honest. Like, it's really that big kick in his economy that allows him to basically make sure that he's going to get a ton of units out. And I really like the choice of both players, actually. Thinking back on it, like PartinG walling off his cannons and choosing to go for a 7 gates with +1. This kind of build is so dangerous, and so few players would have actually been able to hold or even have that idea to be able to hold this kind of a build here from PartinG. But somehow he's like, slow roaches are not going to do much for me. I'm going to go for Zerglings, I'm going to go for Banelings. I'm not only going to bust you, but I'm also going to be able to defend back at home, because Zerglings and Banelings are pretty fast, and they're good enough, I guess. And in the end, it just works. The Zerglings get in, and it's the most common sight, really. Like, has there ever been a game where live slings don't get in? I don't think so. Even yesterday in, where was it? It was like ZVZ.
Yeah.
In the last game, somehow made it work.
Indeed. There's PartinG on stream. We saw Life before, looking a little bit more calm and collected. And PartinG looking like he's got his game face on, man. As we go into the second game, it's going to be on Overgrowth. Life looking a little bit cheeky on the face there. I think he's starting to get a bit of that confidence back.
That was a big smile, actually.
Yeah, it was a very big smile. Both these players do tend to get smug from time to time. In the bottom left here from Yoi Flash Wolves, this is PartinG. And the top right from StarTel, winning that first map. Can he get the second one? This is Life.
The last time that these two played on this map, PartinG went for the in-base proxy, which actually kind of makes me wonder, is Life gonna check at all this time? PartinG told me that about that game that he knew that Life never checks his main. He even might have added a noob in there.
I think that he often adds that word when he's talking about people by the sounds
Anybody
of
that doesn't win against PartinG or does something here and there that he doesn't like, is very easily qualified with a single word every time, and that's the same one.
The 4-letter magic word. He's heading across the map with another Forge Fast expand. Life going Paul first here.
Oh, wow, okay. Even though he wins the first game with some nice counter, you know, in taking 2 bases, including a gold base, and this map has some gold base as well, he says, you know what? I'm pretty sure you're gonna do the same. This map is pretty good for cannon rushes. This time I'm just gonna open standard, surprise you, and disappoint you, I guess, because when you open for Forge first and you see a pull first, you're pretty disappointed usually. Unless your name is SOS and you cannon anyway and you win.
Yeah, $, Shame he's not at the tournament. We've got a pylon block here, just a little mana pylon to drop that hatchery going down.
PartinG had a plan B, man.
Yeah.
If there is no hatch, there shall be a pylon.
Is he going to double block here? Will he go for a second mana pylon?
He's going to go for Nexus, I think, before. Most likely.
Yeah, looks like it.
Delaying it a little bit, okay. The Architect, man. He's back at work.
Yeah, he actually could drop it if he wants to. There's a player back in the day that used to do that in Oceania, and there it is. Shout out to Light from back in the day, dropping 2 pylons on 3 bases there.
Life is already going for an extractor. He knows that his hatchery is going to be quite delayed no matter what, so he didn't even try to go for the gold base here. He knew that PartinG might block that, but I think it would have been nice regardless to go there, just to force maybe another pylon. And with that cancel here, I don't think PartinG should be remaking that pylon. He's already started the gateway. Now it's really time to start adding those assimilators and look forward to adding that 76 core as soon as possible. I wonder what Life's plan is. Like, here mining gas can mean a lot of things. He might already be thinking about doing an all-in. This could just be for speed, to try and have some initiative here. Maybe a big speedling attack, but going for 3 hatcheries, I'm really not sure.
Well, PartinG has, before this map, opted for the preference of going an Immortal Sentry all-in. Also going for upgraded Blink Stalkers as well has been something that he's done on Overgrowth a few times. But you really can't tell at this point. Life looks like he's going to bowl up a bunch of Speedlings here and hide them in the main.
That probe! He's going to go for it.
Yes, he is. He's going to drop some cannons in the third.
There is a Ling on the way.
Yep.
He's going to check, I think.
Oh, Life. Yeah, he'll see it.
Of course he will check. Come on, he's against
Absolutely.
PartinG.
Exactly.
He knows.
PartinG's forced to cancel here, and Life continues to pull Speedlings into his main while getting a Baneling nest behind it as well. He's going to bust again.
PartinG is the one who thought he was going to cheese his opponent here in this series, but so far it's really Life who's
Cancel
bringing
the
it.
hatchery.
And his target starts. That means that there's not going to be any sentry started anytime soon, which is a disaster against this kind of Baneling bust.
He just saw the edge there. He didn't see the Zerglings. Life completely pulling a fast one here against PartinG. It's looking like it's going to work so far.
Okay,
he's getting sentry now.
The sentry starts now. Speed is going to complete in about 25 seconds, Maynard. There is nothing in the wall right now here for PartinG.
And he's not chrono boosting it. He doesn't have chrono boost.
He's not going to see it coming. He's just not going to see it coming. He's not going to send any probe out anytime soon. And with 2 pylons in the wall as well, like this is really breakable of a wall, be it on the right or left-hand side. So Life, for now, is just going to go for, I think it's 6 Banelings. He's going to wait for some more links and he's going to go for it. The sentry's in the wall. The second one is on the way. I don't think he's going to finish on time. Here we go.
The Lings nearly got in anyway. The Banelings looking for a connection on that pylon. They still can't get it. The Lings are tapping on it, and there goes pylon number 1. There's only one force field left.
He needs to rewild fast.
Oh my god, the Lings are getting in, Todd. This is devastating for PartinG already. The sentry's dead. He's trying to get another one out here, but the Lings are already in the natural. Nice forceful positioning actually on that cannon. The cannon's doing quite a lot here.
Oh my god, PartinG. The second cannon is going to finish here. The sentry is doing a bunch of damage. He could rewild behind it. There's just a single Baneling, but his cannon is going to die.
The cannon just dies into that last Zergling, and there's more streaming across the map. It's just Speedlings versus Probes right now, and he's trying to make it Baneling as well. The Mothership Core finishes.
The Baneling. He's about to finish,
and there's a cluster of Probes here. There it is, the Mothership Core targeting it down. PartinG saves the Probes. Yeah, absolutely. He's still in trouble.
Oh my god, PartinG, the architect. He needs to make sure nothing gets in from here. He's down to 20 probes, but there is only 14 drones for Life. If he holds, he's going to be in a great position.
Absolutely. He's on that 2 Nexus with enough probes to be able to recover.
He completed wall gate now. He can warp in a sentry. Oh my god.
Another cannon finish is going to help out a lot. 2 more Banelings coming in here. This might be the last attempt for Life, and he gets deflected. PartinG holds.
What a clutch hold. Behind this, Life is going to start droning up again, but I mean 14 drones against 20 probes. At this point, PartinG banked quite a little bit of chrono boost. He can just keep on chrono boosting up probes, gets more sentries, make sure he doesn't die, and this is just not going to do anything at this point for Life.
Well, he might get 1 sentry here, but it doesn't look like he's got that optimal surround, that's for sure. And the Baneling got taken out by the Mothership Core, so Life's just got to go home with his tail between his legs. PartinG in a beautiful spot.
Oh my god, that was so close. Life's links got in again, but PartinG's defense with pulling the probes, getting the Mothership Core and getting sentries just on time. He didn't miss a single force field, by the way. Maybe he messed up just a little bit with the rewalling behind, but in terms of force fields, those were the most perfect force fields that you can get against this all-in.
And now PartinG gets to make the choice here. He's got the flow of the game in his hands.
He already has a Forge and a Stargate. Using the Stargates, not that useful. I think he could get maybe an Oracle here and there because he knows that Life's economy is very low, so he could force maybe more Queens. But I think that going for +1 and any kind of gateway attack, say from 4 to 8, is always going to be right here. So look, he's already ending the gateways. Already having warp gates really going to help as well. As soon as those gateways finish, which they take 65 seconds to build, he's going to be able to warp in a lot of units. And look, he's going to add even more gates, I think. He has a probe in position in the main.
Also, it kind of looks like the Mothership Core might be able to actually really, really damage this hatchery as well. The Queens are not going to be able to get over there to deflect that for quite some time.
I actually like that he's using these Stargates, because Oracles plus Zealots here, there is no way a Zerg is going to have enough economy to get a lot of Roaches out to defend comfortably against this with some Spores and Queens. So just mass Zealots and Oracles. That's really all he needs here to do damage, possibly finish the game on any kind of attack that he's going to go for.
Well, the one Ling of Life did see the Oracle being made there, so he's making Spore Crawlers in his mineral lines, but that's drones that he can't afford.
Yeah, and also it's that third base that's going to be hit, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
The thing is also PartinG, he has a pylon up the ramp in his main that he can warp with to warp Ratas out of his base. But yeah, I'm pretty sure he's going to bring a probe here as well. Getting a second cannon here, playing it pretty safe, you know, up to a minimum. It's funny, actually, PartinG back when he was playing against Hydra, I think it was on Secret Spring, he didn't even leave a single unit back at home in his wall. Like, he moved out and he sent everything that he had. And against Life, I would never do that. But against Hydra, I did it and it worked out well in the end. But here, he really is respecting his opponent a lot more. He perfect walls the wall back at home with small pylons, gets a second cannon, and he knows that the aggression here is going to be so strong. Life knows that aggression is coming, that is a very dangerous one, gets the Roach Warren and Burrow, but I mean, if you look at the production tab, it's just going to be too late, I think.
Yeah, the Roach Warren is so late. The hatchery came down at around 9 minutes. I mean, the third hatchery had to go down because he was trying a big speedling aggression attack, and I mean, this is just not looking good at all. He's making 12 roaches. If these can come out and get a good trade here and get a bunch of sentries, he'd be in a pretty good spot, but the Mushroom Core could always send them home. Speedlings coming in. The Oracle going to help out quite a lot against those Speedlings, or any drone, any light unit really, and that third hatchery is dead.
Yeah. Are you ready for PartinG's force fields? When he has this much against a Zerg who has this little, it's going to be very one-sided.
Oh yeah. There's all those roaches not in a flanking position. They're actually all inside the natural, so PartinG's going to have easy peasy force fields here. There's a lot of banelings coming down, but PartinG is 55 army supply over the 40 of life, equal worker supply of 45 apiece. The banelings have come out here. Some of the connections not too bad on some of the zealots there at the front. And these force fields,
they're just going to be stuck behind.
Yeah.
If those banelings, like, they're not going to hit the thing.
Look at that donut there, catching a bunch of the roaches in the middle. And they've all been torn apart. He has to pull back all the way to the main ramp. Nothing in the main here. He's got no creep spread to bring the queens down either. Burrow is finished, but he's not utilizing the upgrade right now. The roaches are coming out of the natural, but PartinG is right in his face. 7 roaches versus 13 stalkers, 12 sentries. I mean, this is a game of numbers. He's pulling the drones, never a good sign. Life is going to tap out pretty shortly here as PartinG just counterattacks and gets himself a tied series. Life, the world champion, going to be looking towards game 3. What's his choice as he just goes down? PartinG tying the series, playing basically perfectly that game. No mistakes from PartinG in that game.
This final attack here, it felt like one of those micro-wars runs, you know, like the Moro map. It felt like one of those that you just can't win from the start, where you have like a few roaches against mass stalkers and sentries. That's what it felt like for Life here. But I mean, after this opener, it was a very risky one, which I thought was going to work here for a second. PartinG, he didn't, I'm not sure how much he saw it coming, because I think he saw that the third base was cancelled. I checked his vision and he saw that there was no third hatchery, so I'm pretty sure he saw that that was cancelled, but somehow,
yeah, he did.
At first I thought that he wasn't going to be able to realize it was going to be banelings, but he might have been able to. Be interesting to ask him in an interview later, or just to ask him, no matter what the results.
We only interview the victor, Todd, and that man is right there on screen.
I'll interview him if he loses too.
Okay.
I'll give him some time to deal with the loss, then I'll ask, but yeah.
All right.
It's getting a target like this, if you think there's going to be a boss coming, I don't think he's ever right, but maybe he knows better than me, and he was like, I'll get the target and a sentry, and I'll barely hold with 20 probes against 14 drones, and then I'll win. Life not too phased, though.
No, he doesn't look phased at all. That's exactly what I was about to say. He looks completely calm and collected.
He got inspiration from Maru, maybe.
Yeah, maybe. A lot of players could get their poker face inspirations from Maru. I'd love to know his secrets. Probably win a bit more money at the casino and lose a lot less.
I don't think he's old enough.
I meant me, man. I need those tips. I'm definitely old enough.
In home games, I'm sure he does really well.
Yeah.
But yeah, Life here, trying for something risky.
Life fighting?
I would really like to see him do something a little bit safer, like he did. You know, in terms of purely speaking of openers here, going for the pull first was definitely a nice win, because PartinG was never going to be able to cannon rush, but he still salvaged the situation really well, as in, you know, he had a plan B, he pylon blocked, he slowed down both hatcheries that went down here by Life quite well. So Life, I really would like to see a little bit more of a standard game here out of him. I mean, he's really good in macro games, like he knows what attacks to make, he knows how to have good army movement, and he looks like he's having quite a bit of fun.
Yeah, well, they did say that they just wanted to have fun. Both players are friends. And they're having a good time here on the stage. And we just saw the crowd earlier. They're having a great time as well. Lots of Life fans out there. Plenty of beautiful, handsome esports fans out in Taipei to support their favorite players. Only 4 left. These two looking to see who is the first finalist. Got to go up against the winner of Maru versus Sulky later. And next match got to be on Deadwing. Tell us about PvZ on this map, Todd. What do you think PartinG's going to go for? What are your feelings? Straight guess.
On Deadwing, I mean, it's PartinG. The maps don't really apply anyway. It's funny, actually. I went to his booth earlier and I talked to him a little bit and I asked him, what does he think about the current map pool? Because there's this brand new map pool. And he told me, very good. So I asked him why, and he's like, All maps cheese. I'm not kidding you. That was his answer. So usually in the PvZ on this map, I would say, the usual stuff. It's easy to take a third. Blink and +2 is good. But I really feel like nothing of that really applies to PartinG.
Yeah, not really. I mean, it's kind of, he sets the flow because he's usually the one that comes up with the aggressive response, causing the other player to react.
PartinG usually in the best of 5 includes at least one Soul Train in one of the maps.
Yeah,
so this could be the one.
This could be it. It's got another map in case it doesn't work anyway. This is a best of 5. Plenty of StarCraft games to come. Let's get into match number 3 between these two heavyweights. The bottom left here from Yoe Flash Wolves, an incredible hold, a great, clean game 2. This is PartinG. This music really fits the mood, by the way. And the top left from StarTale, this is Life.
It's going to be close position, vertical position here, which definitely is going to encourage that aggression, I feel, more often than not. Definitely in this matchup too. PartinG, by the look of things, not going to go for some kind of Forge cannon rush this time. With the pylon in the main, it just highly suggests that he's likely to go for a gateway. But is this going to be a Nexus? No, by the look of things, gateway on 13. So back when he played against Hydra, I think it was on Secret Spring, he opened with gateway, went into basically, gate gas core Nexus, and then he went into a 5 gates. That was actually one of the dirtiest games that I've seen out of him. 5 gates into 7 gates into Immortal All-In.
Oh man, I got a chill up my spine just imagining that. Oh god.
It was like,
I'm sorry, Zerg. So sorry.
A continuous, endless stream of cheese, basically. And I wouldn't be surprised if he went for something like that on this map. So we'll see.
Yeah,
not gonna go for a scout early on here, by the way. PartinG. Usually you can go for the scout with this right after the Nexus, right after the Cybercore as well. Yeah, look, he's moving out now.
So Life being safe, respecting his opponent here by going pull before taking his hatchery. Even though the one time he opened safe was the game where he sort of got the shoe on the other foot and was the guy that pushed first, but in the game number 1 where he's defensive, he managed to hold a lot better. So it dictates the play style of both these players a little bit.
Yeah, Life, I think he's not going to be too happy to see this opener here. I mean, he mostly opens here for pull first because he's afraid of a Forge and Cannon Rush, so he would have been happy, I think, to play against a Forge again. But seeing that he's up against a gateway opener, the standard for Zerg against a gateway opener like this is to get a gas quickly and get speed out on the map, so that if you get attacked by any kind of gateway unit, you can crush it with speed links even later on. And in this case, not having started an extractor just yet, he's not going to be able to
go for a fast third hatchery here.
Yeah, regardless. So if PartinG was to go for something like a 5 gate, which I don't think he is by the look of things, he's going for a second assimilator.
And dropping a Nexus.
Interesting.
Okay, so both players going to go into pretty greedy openers here, getting a lot of income.
PartinG could go for something like a Stargate, could go for something like a quick Robo. Those special builds, they are very rarely executed, and that's also what makes them so strong, because people are not really used to playing against them. We saw a lot of Robo builds where, you get some Immortals, you get a Warp Prism, and then you go all in with like lots of gateways and warpins. And I mean, PartinG is no stranger to this kind of build.
Absolutely not. I'd imagine he wouldn't be a stranger to most builds here. Life Slings, not in force yet. There's not a whole lot that they can do when there's only 2 in number, but rest assured there are more on the way.
That was a cute little block here by Life. And 5 minutes in, man. Life Slings already got in.
They've seen quite a bit, and a player like Life can always react pretty much perfectly when he scouts something like that. I mean,
they not only got in, they got out as well, which is not usually the case.
Well, if in doubt, we got the 2 Lings taking the tower, just sort of keeping that map control a little bit with the faster units, seeing if PartinG wants to go for like a really fast Nexus or anything like that, seeing what he puts at the wall, and he can confirm that it's just gateways. Not too much information that he can get left with his Lings at this point.
Still no gases here for Life. Usually around 6 minutes.
Yeah, this is so
when you
greedy.
Want to start those.
Very greedy. So be dropping them any second though. It's about that time. You really can't go just straight minerals for this long.
He's going up to 4 queens here very soon. So with the extra queen going up on the 3rd base, I guess Life is going to want to look to increase spread very early on in this game, which might... Like, this is always getting me to think that there could be Swarm Hosts, and we've seen actually Life use some Swarm Hosts here and there. quite decently.
Yeah, he's not too bad at it. I mean, some would say that the Europeans can pull off Swarm Host a little bit better than the Koreans, but we saw Sulky do a great job of it yesterday against Rain. And Life, as you said, can bust it out from time to time. Especially on 3 bases, getting the gases now.
Yeah, on this map, I mean, your bases, they are pretty close together. It's very easy if you place Overlords well to see any kind of War Prism headed into usually the main or natural. That's where you're gonna go for with the War Prism. So Life's both defensive and offensive Swarmos, I think they have improved a lot. Like the last few times that I saw him do it, I think that was probably against Hero, where he used it once, lost, and the next time they used it, he won. PartinG is gonna go for a third base, but using a lot of force skills here to kill just a few links. Oh man, those queens. Those queens.
Oh man, that's going to be a lot of creep spread, Todd, and this does certainly look like he wants to be able to get, well, I mean, that does make me think Swarm Host here as he gets into the later part of the game. Lair going down, Queen looking for anything to be able to knock it away. Mothership Core keeping that tower clear so that he can move across without being spotted. Twilight Council going down here for PartinG as he gears up for his third Nexus. Those sentries did spend a lot of force wheels. They got a bunch of lifelings.
Yeah.
But, I mean, they will recharge their energy.
Life, he knew that there was going to be a third base here by PartinG. He knew that PartinG was not going to be that aggressive. He channeled the spirit of Ret, and he went for only drones and queens until the 8th minute where he added a Roach Run. And look, he's still droning up like a madman.
It's actually kind of the metagame sometimes, well, these days in ZVP to go for that old school Roach Ling Flood. We're just maxing on Roaches.
Yeah.
And, you know, the old Stefano style would just make so many Roaches and then overwhelm with sheer numbers. The Roach Warren is going down, 12 Lings on the way. These Queens are going to help quite a bit against the Sentries. There's not too much that does damage here. Only one Zealot.
You know what? If PartinG hadn't gone for Twilight for Blink and +2, and he had gone for Gateways earlier, I think he would have been able to do a lot of damage here with an attack. But it kind of feels like Life anticipated that PartinG was going to do that, so he played pretty greedy. He just got a bunch of Queens, not that many links, and in the end, he should definitely be fine. Yeah, he's gonna be fine. For a second, I thought he could be in trouble. But those Queens, they are pretty strong.
Doesn't want to lose the Sentries here. He's got to pull back.
PartinG, though, is starting to proxy some pylons on the right-hand side of the map, so maybe already thinking that he, after recalling here, which he's gonna have to do here in a second, he's gonna move out and attack again, this time with 8 gateways, Blink Stalkers, and +2.
Does escape into the Nexus there, and I think you're right. Getting those upgrades,
Actually,
getting Blink.
Can I correct the 8 gateways? He's dropping down a bunch more.
There he's going up. We'll have a look at the gateway total soon. As the Sentry's just starting to bowl up here at the third since that recall, and he can counterattack. The Infestation Pit going down. +1 attack for the Roaches, and also the Locusts if he goes for the Swarmhost route, which is still is looking like he wants to do here.
Yeah. Nice wall at the third base, by the way. Like the SimCity of the Architects has been pretty on point. And yeah, it's actually 8 gates plus a Robo. I don't think he necessarily needs to get Immortals because he knows that there is a... it's very likely that there's going to be... Oh, what? What are you doing? You're far away from home, Mothership Core. I think he pretty much knows that there is most likely going to be Swarmhost, and Immortals are pretty terrible against them. So he's just going to be Blink Stalkers with +2 and Lost Sentries and 17 Cryptomers.
Oh, man.
Spreading the love, or the hate, I guess, depending on which side you stand on.
Life's creep. His love or his hate. We don't know which one. Being spread right towards PartinG right now. And with the Observer, he's going to be able to clean up quite a lot of that. The Swarm Hosts are a fair way back. The Queens are coming out here to assist a little bit. The Mothership Core quite low, but I can't imagine that PartinG would blow into that heavily. Just being bullied back by the Locust here. Enduring Locust not quite done yet, so they don't have that incredible range, but with Blink Stalkers and with the Observer, he should be in a good spot to be able to take up to that splash damage. He's getting the Colossus standing on the back there. The Robotics Bay being sorted out for him. He's going to have that long-range splash damage shortly.
Whoa.
Catching some Queens here and a Roach. Nice force field from PartinG. Nice zoning.
Risky move, but the execution was good enough, and PartinG's reacting properly to this. He's getting an Observer, he's getting a Robo Bay. He's engaging maybe a little bit too much here. He's going to run out of force fields if he keeps on doing that. He needs to start going around, either from the left-hand side or right-hand side. He's fighting a little bit too much. I mean, killing Roaches here and some Locusts here and there is not really that important. Preserving his Sentry count and Stalker count is really what's going to allow him to be super aggressive. But he knows that the army is in the middle of the map, and this is going to be so dangerous here for Life, who only has 2 spines in the main. He's going to have to send the Roaches back home.
He has indeed, and that means that it gears up a little bit of space for the Blink Stalkers to perhaps get onto that Swarmhost pole. He's attacking for the right here. Big warp in the main, still uncontested. The Roaches have to come down. They're more scared of the Blinkstalkers than the drop in the main. Looks like the Spine Crawlers are doing all right here with some Roaches hatching out. He did break off some of the Roach numbers to come back into the main and help out here. So this will be cleaned up.
Oh, the Mothership Core just died.
Oh boy.
That means PartinG loses his recalling capability. So if he commits too much with those sentries or stalkers and they get caught, well, I guess the sentry is gonna die and then the stalker is gonna blink out and leave them to die, but that's not ideal. Double Colossus production is gonna be starting here very soon with the second robo underway. Thermal and Sajora already underway.
But life is almost maxed, Todd. He's 188 supply and 200 he's climbing. He has so many Zerg units. This Blink not too bad. He's getting 10 drones here. This is actually quite nice for PartinG. And he's warping in front of the fourth as well with a lot of Zealots. He's going to be able to maybe get a hatch cancel. Oh, everything's out of position. This hatch is in big trouble.
Yeah, what PartinG's doing here is he's saying, I'm not going to let you siege me. I'm going to counterattack if you siege me. The thing is, so far, there has been enough Roaches back at home for life to defend against any kind of counterattack or War Prism harassment. And now, he's gonna start the siege regardless.
Oh. Colossus took a bit of damage there from the Locust. Does survive though. He's warping a little bit because the Locusts are at his front door. He's taking chip damage as time goes on.
The Robos being there at the third base, this could get sniped. If those two Robos get sniped, PartinG is gonna be in so much trouble. PartinG needs to start expanding elsewhere. He needs to start thinking on evacuating this base, which is going to get sieged no matter what.
Whole bunch of Roaches coming in here. They do snipe the Colossus, and they're right in front of the Zealots and the Stalkers as well. And his Blink Stalkers in the middle of the map, also having a little bit of trouble catching some of the reinforcements though. But there's only a few Locusts that he keeps dealing with. Oh, he's chasing the Colossus around, bring around the Rosie. This Colossus trying to find a nice spot here. Has to recall back to the third. PartinG giving up his position. The Mothership Core does catch it. The Colossus is going to go down. Snipes it with some more Roaches. And Life is putting on so much pressure here. Vipers around as well. The Swarm hosts repositioning themselves to be right in PartinG's face. PartinG is really feeling the pressure here.
Yeah, Life's fourth base got sniped, but I don't think he even cares. There is no way he's gonna slow down anytime soon, and there is no way that PartinG is gonna be able to evacuate that natural, which is just gonna get sieged and GG.
GG, not enough splash damage. Couldn't deal with the overwhelming numbers of Zerg there. And Life gets himself a 2-1 lead in this series. Oh boy. PartinG's holding his forehead, thinking about what he's done.
What's happening to Life? I've never seen him have this much fun and smile so much during a match, and he's playing really, really well.
He is playing incredibly well.
You don't always see...
He looks so sharp right now.
You don't always see Koreans use Swarmos this effectively, I feel. Like when you see Europeans use Swarmos, it really feels like they know what they're doing, or foreigners in general. And Koreans, a lot of the time, they've looked shaky with Swarmos, but this game, every single decision, reaction out of Life was pretty much perfect. He sent enough Roaches back at home to defend very comfortably. At the same time, he sieged with the Swarm host, and it never really felt like he was in too much danger.
Yeah.
Didn't take too much damage, just a little bit here and there, but never any kind of critical damage.
Well, he lost a fourth hatchery, but that certainly didn't kill him. He had so many units. Like
I don't think he even noticed or cared, Maynard.
Yeah. He was like, do you feel something? Was there a red spot on the map that just disappeared just now? I mean, I didn't notice.
PartinG's fourth base did nothing for him here.
Yeah.
He had to expand, I think, elsewhere, try to play the base trade maybe a little bit more. And he never really got, like losing that Mothership Core really made him lose some mobility. And he never really got to rejoin his army with the Colossi that he made, which makes a massive difference actually. If he had that, his counter-attacking capability would have been so much better. Life realized all that during this game and he exploited those mistakes out of PartinG and punished him for it.
He read PartinG like a book with large print in that last game. And PartinG, what is his decision going into this game? I can't even predict. He's got to have to...
What would a PartinG book look like?
PartinG book?
It's like chapter 1, uppercase, noob.
Chapter 1, noob. Chapter 2, easy GG.
This guy who thought that the whole series would only last 30 minutes. We're a little bit less than an hour in, and he's in pretty much trouble.
Oh, I think his prediction has already been smashed here. He's only got one map in the series. This guy on screen right here has got himself 2.
Man, when I saw the bracket, I thought we would have 3 Protosses in semi and in a PvZ or PvP finals. By the look of things, we might not have a single Protoss in finals.
Oh no, I might get the TVZ I wanted. I'm still gunning for that Mario Life final, man. It's my heart. I want it so badly. I'm sure a lot of people out there agree. At the top of this map, Varney Research Station. It's Yowie Flash Wolves PartinG. And then the southernmost spawns here. The greatest Zerg from Startail. This is life. So many fans out there today. I'm actually pleasantly surprised how many people here come support the game. It's really, really good to see.
The audience is basically just all the seats are full. There's people around standing and watching. Definitely cool to have this many people turn up for the events. PartinG here, by the look of things, I was gonna say maybe Forge with this pylon placement. This is a weird pylon placement. Could still be a gateway. I mean, you have a freebie here. You have a free base that you can take inside of your main. And yeah, it's gonna be a Forge. So even though it's I guess you have this base that you can take indoors, you can still try and cannon rush that one. I don't know if PartinG's kind of hoping that Life is going to try to take the base outside of, you know, the free one.
Yeah.
So in this case, the one on the left-hand side of his main first. But he's just going to go for a pull first and play it safe once again, knowing that PartinG being down here to basically a last chance. Might be trying something like this.
You can actually, you can get into the main without being detected, circle around the creep, and get into that back area, which is so hard to defend against cannons. But he does show the probe there to the Overlord.
He's already sending out a second probe. He's gonna cannon rush no matter what this game. No matter what.
Now this
sees that it's a pull first. Okay, no, he sends back the probe.
All right.
So I guess he might adjust. He might not go for it. Yeah, okay, he's not gonna go for it. He's gonna go for Nexus. So PartinG. He's gonna adjust very nicely here, and we saw quite a few good games actually on this map earlier. Yesterday, Rain versus Sulky went into a long game, you know, and it really showcased how good Swarmos can be on this map. And maybe it gives us a little bit of a pointer as to what we might see out of Life, even though it really doesn't need Swarmos to do well.
This is probably the best Swarmos map at the moment in the pool, including the old maps. This map looked incredible for Sulky against Rain. I mean, Rain didn't seem like he was too comfortable versus that style, but Sulky just pulled it off brilliantly, and he didn't even have static defense. It was similar to how Life played that last game on Deadwing. He just kept being aggressive, constantly lifting and moving and repositioning his Swarm host, and that's exciting Swarm host play.
Hello there.
Yeah, hi there, Probe. No pylon for you today.
It's nice to see you. PartinG going to be able to confirm the third base here starting, so by now he pretty much knows that there's most likely not a gas or any kind of link speed coming anytime soon, so he's gonna do this pretty safe. Already has a cannon back at home anyway. I wonder what PartinG's gonna go for here. Is he gonna be a Robo? Is he gonna be a Stargate? Very unlikely that it will ever be some kind of Dark Shrine play, even though that I guess we've seen Rain use it like pretty decently.
Yeah, Rain did really well with Dark Shrine. Not on this map though. He did make DTs later, but he didn't do the critical damage. Getting in the main or just having a look here, he knows that there's a cannon. The Overlord actually got touched up by that cannon a little bit before it nestled into the main.
I'd love to see a Soul Train here out of Rain. PartinG, sorry. Definitely would be one of the cool things.
Well, he hasn't done it yet, and I mean, this may be his last chance.
Yeah.
Life's one game away from the grand final.
On this map, though, it's just so open around the middle of the map. But I guess around that third base, if you attack through the left-hand side, you know, through those bushes, maybe you can do okay with the force fields, but yeah, overall it will be very tricky compared to on some other maps to make work. So yeah, being with the Stargate here, pretty sure this is going to be for an Oracle. We don't really see Phoenixes almost ever. Like, it kind of feels like we see Phoenixes instead of Oracle, like one game out of 15 or something.
I think Rain opened Phoenix, maybe on Catalina. I'm not too sure.
Yeah.
So that's the only time we've seen
one game out of 15.
Yeah, exactly.
I did the mathematics. No, I'm not. I didn't. I'm just kidding. But that's my estimation.
Good estimation. Yeah, we're most likely going to see an Oracle here. Very good map for it. Can get across, and the Overlord actually going to see the Stargate as well. Brilliant Overlord positioning in life.
He's supply block, and he's going to go for
and Phoenix. And it is Phoenix. Okay.
Interesting.
Yeah. That's
the old school build. The old school build where you go for Phoenix, and I'm guessing this is going to be with a Colossus transition. The thing is, he opened Forge. Usually, when you open for Phoenix like this, you can. One very good thing that you can do is get a +1 with it, and go for a 4-get Zealot with a bunch of Phoenixes, like 4 to 5, sometimes maybe even more if you want to all-in with it. So
yeah,
definitely one of the possibilities of what we might see out of PartinG, who's getting sentries at the same time, and who saturated the gases on his natural very quickly, by the way. This is the one game in 15. Okay, actually, with this game being basically Phoenix orientated, my math is definitely off, Maynard. I just realized that.
That's okay,
Robo going down behind this. So already thinking about the Colossus transition.
And Life obviously dropping Spore Crawlers because he's not a silly Zerg. Knows that the Phoenix is going to be looking for some drone kills here.
You know what this could be? this could be for a bunch of initial gateways, a War Prism, and Sentry drop. Because he made Sentries, which he could either go for the main. He's gonna clear the entire map, basically. He could go for the main and the force field on ramp in the main. He could also lock out of the main with Sentries down the ramp, or he could even go for the natural, which is a double force field natural. This is so interesting. I really wonder which is gonna be, but PartinG starting a third base means he's obviously not gonna be as strong as if he did it on 2 bases.
Yeah.
It might just be a transition, I mean. With PartinG, you never know. I'm just pointing out stuff that I thought we might see. And with this amount of Queen, those Phoenixes, they're really not going to do much.
Yeah, they're completely shut down, especially with the Spore Crawlers helping out as well. And Life is powering ahead here. He's getting himself a Roach Warren going. He's up to lair. He's on 64 drones against the 48 probes.
Yeah, he
of
doesn't
PartinG.
even care about drones being killed at this point. He just
No.
remakes more. It's like you kill one, 10 more come out.
That's right. Chop the head off the Hydra and more tickets place. He's going to get himself a 4th hatchery here by the looks of things. And the Queen's lots and lots of creep spread again.
Yeah.
And I'm feeling like we're going to see the same style as we saw in the last map here, considering the map as well.
You don't think Muta's here?
Probably not against these Phoenix.
They did... we saw Sulky actually go for Swarmost and really wanting to try to add some Mutas to it, which was definitely an interesting thing to do. But on a map like this, where, you know, everything is just, you know, kind of small, it's just alleys here and there, I really feel like just covering the map with creep and going for Swarmost and static defense is probably much better. At least, that's what I think I would have more nightmares against as a Protoss.
We know how much you love that Swarm host, Todd. 6 drones going down to those Phoenixes. And, I mean, like you said, Life just makes more. He still has a superior work account in the Infestation Pit halfway done. Very, very likely going to see Swarm host very, very shortly here in this game. Ling's looking for an opening. Actually might get some probes here, just a few. Don't commit. They're looking for that main.
Yeah, not gonna see any kind of War Prism shenanigans in the end. And PartinG here for a second, by the way, he didn't have anything in his wall, no Zealots. So this could have been scary if Life had gone for it.
Yeah.
But he fixed that very quickly, though. That was a very short timing window, which Life could not have known about.
That's right, the Swarm hosts are on the way and during Locust here as well as the 4th hatchery comes up. And PartinG going for Colossus a little bit quicker this time. He's got it on the way with Extended Thermal Lance, Blink as well. So he's kind of in a better spot to be able to prepare against what Life's got in store for him here.
In the previous game, it was a single Evo, by the way, with only missile attacks level 1. But now, double Evo, he's getting Carapace as well. Life's defense was just so good last game that it really felt like if you play aggressive against him with counter harassment and War Prism, you're gonna be in trouble. But the thing is, you kinda have to, because if you sit back, then you accept that the map's gonna be split and you have to go into Tempest.
Yeah.
And then it's just so much pain to deal with. But in this game, it's been a pretty passive game, basically. It's just been Phoenixes across the map, harassing Zerglings on the other side. And I mean, PartinG has lost 1 unit, and Life has lost 22. So not too many units have been killed.
Mostly drones and Zerglings.
Yeah.
I mean,
16 drones have been, 17 now have been killed.
yeah. That's actually very, very nice work considering the investment of these Phoenixes. That's quite a lot of drones.
The Spire already been made. I'm not sure what to make of this here. I don't know. I don't think... Oh, he might want to transition, but then why is he getting Carapace and missile attacks level 2?
No,
10 Swarmos into Muta is very strong.
Yes.
But it doesn't really make sense to get upgrades with it. Maybe he thinks he can afford it gas-wise, which I guess it's going to take a while, because you see he's only on 200 gas and the Spire is about to finish. So I guess he adds 3 more Swarmos here alive. I really like the 3 spines on the natural, by the way. This is definitely the weak spot. It feels kind of like that natural on Nimbus. It's free to take, it's very easy to take, but very easy to drop at the same time.
Helping Life out there. He had too many in gas. Drones go down, fixes it up. And it looks like PartinG's going to try and take the gold here while dropping with the Warp Prism into Life's main, circling around with some of the Locusts. And they're going to about to pop here as PartinG pushes through. The Phoenixes.
Yeah, this is definitely one thing that PartinG would have liked to be able to do better in the previous game, is denying the creep. Because the creep was in the middle of the map, was at the watchtower, was at his front step from very early on, and that made it so hard for him to fight anywhere around it or go around it. And in this case, that helped Life so much. So in this game, he definitely needs to work on that non-stop, all the time.
Yeah. Well, the first time he was playing against Swarmhost with Life, for the last map he was playing against Swarmhost with Life, he did do a good job denying that creep with the Blink Stalkers, but he's definitely got better tools for the trade right now.
Is Life gonna go for Broodlords here? He's getting Corruptors and attacks upgrade at the same time he's getting a Hive.
It's looking very similar to what Sulky did against Rain here.
Yeah, but the thing is, Rain was already kind of taking to Tempest. I feel like here, if he rushed to Brewlords and then did a massive, kind of push / attack, it would be so strong, especially if PartinG tried to fight against it. But I'm pretty sure that PartinG is going to want to try to basically stay mobile here.
There's a lot of force fields to those Locusts that just worry about today. Warp Prism going back into the main. Some Roaches running past into the third as well at the top of the map. Force fields going down. Oh, that's a big warp in. Watch out, Mr. Infestor. Zealous coming in here, going into the hatchery. There's 3 Spine Crawlers. With the Queens, he should be okay. He's going to get this Warp Prism, actually, and he would have seen the Corruptors pop out as well. The Roaches did a bit of damage there, only a couple probes, so definitely not worth it. As PartinG recalls and cleans it up, and Life as well will clean this up.
PartinG had to kill one of his own pylon at the third base here to be able to get out. And behind this, I mean, he just remakes a Warp Prism. He's going to get a second Robo. He's getting Storm. We could be seeing, some Templar drops here and there, but they will be very exposed to getting sniped behind this. And the Mothership has started, Maynard.
Yeah,
are we going to see a big air transition? Are we going to see that very late game style on this map in a split map situation?
Well, he's loaded up some Dark Templar. It's a lot of gas here. He's looking to get some hurt on. Still a Spore Crawler there, and he's making another one at the top of the Roach Warren there. But I mean, there is no Spine Crawlers. There's no static defense. He could burn down a hatchery if he got lucky.
PartinG predicted a 30-minute series. By the look of things, we're 16 minutes in. This game alone could be longer than 30 minutes.
Well, that's a lot of cannons there. Those Lings aren't going to get too much done. And here comes the drop with the Dark Templar. Oh, sneaky hit squad. Here we go. He's going to right-click on that hatchery, see how much he can get done. Lots of Zealots being warped in support as well. And this hatchery's in a lot of trouble. It's going to go down.
And another Warp Prism is taking position around the third base of Life. If he went for some Zealots and DTs on that Spire, he could get a good snipe here.
Absolutely, the Spire is very, very important for Life here. He needs them to deal with the Colossus and with the Warp Prisms as well. Swarm Host coming back. Oh, it's actually going to go down to the Zealots before it burrows. It's a nice little pick off there. Any damage you can do is so nice for PartinG.
Queens are good, but against charge lots with +2 attack upgrades, they're still going to have a hard time.
And he's had to reposition the Swarm Host. He's taken a lot of the Swarm Host out of his offensive, back into the defensive, all the way into his main, which gives PartinG free reign to be able to clear up more creep tumors here.
Yeah. This was nice out of PartinG, but I mean, at the end of the day, all he really killed here was, a hatchery, a few drones here and there, maybe.
18 drone kills.
Okay, that's more than a few drones, actually. Didn't notice that earlier. So that's pretty good, but Life is just going to remake those drones. They are not super costly units. He's just going to mine that base. And all you have to do when you play this style is split the map, defend the whole time, and get a ton of static defense, and then have some fun with Vipers, Corruptors, and all that. So...
He actually almost had too many drones, because after that drop, he's still on 77. Like that.
Yeah. Even though PartinG has done some damage here, unless he can attack and capitalize on those damage, which he shouldn't really be able to do, it's not going to matter in the long term.
There's one Dark Templar here right under an Overseer. And Life's got plenty of static defense in these hatcheries, but...
Oh, he's going to go for the Hive, I think.
Yeah.
Oh no, Infestation Pit first. No, you shall not make Swarm Host anymore.
He's already got plenty on the map. The Locusts are coming in to deal with the Zealots. He can always remake it, of course.
Ooh.
Still has that tech.
Middle base. Running out of force fields here, needs to be careful. The Mothership is already done, so there is actually a timing where PartinG is going to be maxed out here if he wanted to go for a maxed out timing. And he will have just enough Colossi to deal well with the Swarm Host and enough Templars that he could attack and do very well with, but I don't think he's going to go for it. But look, I think he just wants to keep on being mobile, and he's finally going for that air transition, Maynard.
And looks like PartinG's just catching some Corruptors just out on Smoko here, and he's going to get 3 or 4 for free.
Yeah,
wow.
Definitely nice here for him. A small win. But I mean...
Actually, oh God. Okay, PartinG losing a lot of Stalkers there.
Here goes the Todkers. A small win, and then he walks Stalkers into Locusts. A lot of Corruptors being made. 9 more.
Yeah, I'm feeling like there's going to be a Broodlord transition at some point. I mean, he has the hype. He's getting +3 flying attack.
I think Life just knows that he's going to face, and most likely an air transition, that he's going to have to deal with the Colossus. So he's going to rely on Spores for the static defense, and Vipers for the Abduct, and lots of Corruptors with very good upgrades, by the way. He has Zerg Flyer Attacks level 3 on the way now, Carapace level 1, so he's definitely going to be able to complete that, I think.
This is really nice from PartinG, using the Warp Prism harassment, but so far, Life's doing such a great job now at this point in the game at shutting it down.
You know what's crazy? Life, he doesn't even need that right-hand side gold base. He could literally take those left-hand side gold base and the one above, which supposedly should be on PartinG's side of the map. But he can make that side of the map his with enough Swarm Host.
These Corruptors are going deep, Todd. They're going to get a couple Colossus here, but Storms and the Archons. He has to be very, very careful there. He took a lot of damage on those Corruptors.
what's happening with these guys' motherships, man? They die even more than Rodis.
Good thing he's in Vegas right now and he can't hear you cast. And the thing is, did he say to
He
you?
knows it's true, man. Too many motherships have died this tournament. And I'm pretty sure he's gonna keep this way, and he's gonna continue because PartinG remakes it immediately. 3 Tempest on the way. 3 Warp Prism are out on the map, but PartinG's maxed out. He cannot warp in anything across the map. So already we're seeing, you know, a little bit of shakiness in his play against Swamos. Maybe doing a few mistakes here and there. He actually, never mind, he has 4 Warp Prism. 4 Warp Prism Maynard, and he's maxed out.
So, I mean...
What is he gonna do? Kill his own probes and replace them with Zealots across the
I
map?
don't know, Archon drop macro maybe? Not much you can do here.
Dropping Templars would be nice, but I mean, there is enough Corruptors and Vipers that life will always defend nicely anyway. Okay, Warp Prism is gonna deploy in the natural, but what does it warp in? 2 Zealots? 1 DT, 1 Zealot?
It's a little bit of an awkward situation. In fact, it's just going to be a Feed Life Foundation donation here. The Warp Prisms go down. Now, I mean, look at this base from PartinG that's so close to Life's second hitter. It's amazing that Life hasn't seen it yet.
And PartinG is now behind in units lost. Life has traded well enough with the Locusts and basically the free stuff that he has to finally put himself ahead. He has more of a bank than PartinG.
Oh!
He's not going to take any big damage anytime soon. He's going for some abducts.
He actually lost some 2 very high energy Templar there to Locusts. PartinG losing very expensive units.
Not having the cloak of the mothership is a massive deal. You need that.
Yeah, it's on the way. It takes so long to remake, and it's expensive as well.
You're telling me? Of course, man.
Lucas coming in here doing some damage. Big storms and feedbacks on the Vipers is actually very, very low. These Corruptors are very hurt. He has to be careful.
And PartinG at this point, he's not even being aggressive anymore. He's just accepting that he has to go into air. He's going to be the one on the defensive. And I really don't know how he's going to get out of this one.
Well, he was getting that Tempest count up, but the Tempest count's not extremely high. I mean, this isn't where you want to be at this point with the Tempest count. He's got still quite a lot on the ground. The Templar are helping out a lot.
He's getting a second Cybercore for more upgrades on air units. He's getting Warp Prism speed at the same time. PartinG, I mean, if you look at the situation here, some people might say that he's in a bit of a pickle.
Yeah, he's in a spot of bother. The Observer trying to find any creepers or anything, like static defense, any damage you can do with the Tempest. He doesn't have an Oracle to be able to envision these units either, so he can't shoot at them from long range.
Oh, this Observer, not gonna last long here. Feedbacks, hits one of those Vipers. Well, I don't think he had that much energy.
Looks like he's gonna go for a grab here. One Colossus gonna pay the price. Oh, does go down.
And PartinG is still adding more Colossi and Archons, which really is not helping against this. He's not trading anything right now. He's not counter-attacking anymore, even though there isn't that much static defense back at home here for Life.
The Locusts of Life are just doing free damage, man. They're not going to stop. They're getting a Cannon here, a Templar here. As the game goes on, that's just going to keep paying the price here, and the Greater Spire does go down. So you can get up for those high those high upgrades, and also for the Broodlord as well.
I really don't know about getting a Greater Spire when there is already this many Tempests and Stargate on the map. Then again, Sulky with the Gangster sign and the best concave in the world made it work yesterday against Rain.
Yeah, that was the sickest concave I've ever seen in the history of StarCraft 2. Blinkstalker's doing a bit of harassment damage here. Actually probably helping Life at this point. His bank is incredible. There's lots and lots of static defense.
Ultralis Cavern, why not? I mean,
well, he's getting melee upgrades.
It's like buying a candy at this point for Life's economy. And he finally takes that goal. Like, I mean, he should feel right at home. He's had Locust streaming in here for like, I don't know, 15 minutes already? 27th minute mark here now in this game. And PartinG is nowhere close to being aggressive for the last few minutes. Even though, I mean, he even has that gold base on the bottom of the ball.
Mothership gone it. Oh, another abduct.
And no
See you
recall.
later.
No recall out of PartinG. You can see that he's not that used of this style, of playing against this style.
Korean Protosses, they just can't, they just get a little bit hot under the collar when there's Swarm Hosts on the map, Todd. This map is incredible for Swarm Hosts as well. Could almost expect it even.
PartinG is on 4 Stargates. He's adding on additional gateways now. So he might be thinking about, you know, maybe losing a few units here and there and counter-attacking finally, which is really what he needs to do. I mean, at this point, he's just getting sieged. And if you look at Life's main in natural, there's just so little static defense that he would just lose those. And in which case, you trade Zealots for gas buildings. And it's just cost effective because this kind of game plays a lot about the gas.
He's donating probes to free up supply for units. Has been doing that for a while, but he's losing these big expensive units and he's replenishing. Look, another 2 Colossus.
You don't need Colossi, PartinG, you need more Tempests. When there is, actually, if you think about it, there is 20 Swamos. That's quite a bit of supply that can't attack air. So as much as there is 30 Corruptors, if he just maxed out on Tempest with a Mothership and a bunch of Void Rays, it will put Life in a position where his Swamos are pretty much useless. They can only zone out the Templar, but then there is a Mothership cloaking them. It will be much harder. Whereas now, I mean, this is really not going well for PartinG. He's just not doing anything. He's sitting there taking it.
A few minutes ago, his bank was sitting around 3,000, and he's been losing Archons, Templar, these expensive, incredibly expensive units for free, and he just keeps taking the damage. He can't stop this damage. He's trying to stop. He just can't.
Most
He's
important tab and statistic in a split map situation is the units lost. And right now, PartinG has lost 22,000 worth of resources in units lost. Life is at 13,000. He's gonna double those numbers here very, very soon. If you lose twice what your opponent has lost in a game, you're not doing very well in it usually, and something needs to change.
Quite a few storms here. He will do a lot of damage on the Corruptors, but a Tempest goes down. And, another one going to go down as well before he bugs out onto the creep. And PartinG looks like he might be getting a little bit impatient here. He's moving out the Archons and the Colossus at the back. He knows that he's broke. He's run out of money. He's pushing forward on the creep, Todd. How do you feel about this? He just has to do something, I suppose.
Yeah, he's on tilt, I think, and I mean, he doesn't even have a bank to really remake anything behind this. If he loses his army, this is going to be the end. The Mothership's finally here. He has quite a scary and sizable army. It's 158 army supply, it's 160, but how does he really attack into all of these spores is my question here.
It's an incredibly high spore count with the Swarm Host in beautiful position. He's making Spine Crawlers because he knows that PartinG wants to attack into here, and he's just going to wait for PartinG to go into him and die.
28 spores. Well, actually, he outputted a bunch. I think it was 35 before he moved those. So many spines. Up to something like 11 right now.
Wow.
PartinG. Okay, that Mothership.
That's another abduct here. See a Mothership. And now PartinG's units cannot hide under Cloak. More damage coming through here. Big ducks, a lot of splash damage. Storm's going down, a Whipped Storm there, in fact.
No good storms are landing here, and behind this, Life still has a massive bank. Doesn't even care. He could literally like start taking that other base, like basically the last base that's available on this map if he wanted to, but maybe some counter harassment. Finally, PartinG realizing he can do some damage with this, but is it too late? I think so.
It definitely looks like it. He's getting pretty low on the minerals here.
He's getting oracles, which he's gonna need to reveal Life's army, or even buildings in this case, to shoot from afar with the Tempest. Apollo pointed out yesterday that Rain needed one of those much earlier than he made it. And I mean, this was the case here as well in this game. PartinG never really made some of those, never revealed his opponent's army. He was just sitting back.
And the Hive will go down here. The DT's doing quite a lot of damage to that very, very important structure. But that said, Life still has the tech structures. He can still make Swarm Hosts. He can still make, he can't make Vipers at least, but he's still got a Viper count that's been pretty much untouched.
Yeah. PartinG really is running out of money right now. He's about mined out the gold base that he took, the first one. The second one still has quite a bit of minerals, I guess, and on the left-hand side he's one base. Oh my god, some big abducts!
Whoa! He got another Colossus there, got a Tempest as well. And the Storms did hit a lot of those Corruptors. Once again, they're quite low, so he does have to wait. And this is just Life being a lot more patient than PartinG at this point. PartinG is being darting back and forth, but like you said, he's starting to harass now, which is nice, but look at his bank, Todd. It's been pretty dismal compared to Life for a lot of this game.
Yeah. Life has been positioning his Vipers and Corruptors very interestingly when he goes for the Zapdogs, by the way. Like a lot of the time he's, okay, as I said, he actually puts them kind of at the front. See, he's trying to do a flower so that he's harder to feed back.
And another one shot. Oh, actually a two shot there on that Mothership and another new Storm.
God. This is actually so smart. He does a flower with the Corruptors and Vipers so that you can't really click in the middle and feed back properly the Vipers, in which case if you can feed back them, they will abduct no matter what and kill your stuff. So as much as against Storm, it's going to be difficult. Kills both Oracles now, but it's going to be revealed.
Yeah.
As much as it's difficult to feed back the Vipers, you should be able to get better Storms, but he's just so good at abducting from max range and then pulling back immediately that he never really got hit by any big storms. Infestor is going to join the party now for some fungals.
There's a fungal going down there.
That guy paid a high price, man.
Yeah.
Incinerated instantly.
Life can afford to lose units, though. That one Infestor going down actually doesn't really affect Life at all. I'm not sure he cares.
Even losing his Hive, like he's just remaking it.
Yeah, he defended with one Swarm Host.
Who cares, man?
Lucas hitting some more Archons here. These are so expensive. One Archon going down, two nearly going down. Storm's starting to recharge a little bit for PartinG, and Life's Corruptors are recharging as well. He's moving forward, looking for another abduct. He's got that flower, he stacked it up. The Envision has run out.
They are mining out the map, man.
Well, that's what happens when it gets into this scenario, dude.
Hey, ooh, these storms
he's found the base.
These storms hit big time, but I mean, Life can just pull back every single time, wait for a bit, then go for it again. And it's just, he's just gonna take that base, you know, just right above this, all of this action momentarily. A little bit of a siege on that gold base, definitely gonna be nice here.
He'll get it eventually. There's not much that PartinG can do about this. He needs all of his army to fend off the superior locust count and that just non-stop siege raids.
I'm really surprised that PartinG has sat there the entire game instead of going around the right-hand side of the map and trying to, you know, bring Life back into more of a defensive posture rather than a sieging one.
Oh, those are some pretty huge storms. Got a Tempest though. Cutting into the Tempest count. He's making 3 at a time. His gas is getting very low. Like you said, he's running out the map. He's running out of resources. Look at how dry these bases are.
That guy. He's a ninja.
So they get the Spire. But 8 more Corruptors coming out. That might be all he needs. Might not even need the Spire at this point. I love how he just brings one Swarm Host back to defend.
Yeah. Life has brought, by the way, his entire static defense here in this sieging position. Every single other base that he has could get siege, except maybe for that one in the middle, but the main natural third base and fourth base all are very vulnerable. But I mean, at this point, is it really even worth anything going for the siege on them? Or, yeah, just going for the trade for PartinG?
Yeah.
He's moving in. He might have lost patience here.
Oh, well, he's lost his extra income, and that was pretty much the only base. Oh, big fungal on the Templar there. Is he going to chain it down? It looks like he might. They're getting very, very low. And the Templar, oh, just live. They just have a couple storms, though, but I'm not sure if that would make a difference at this point. He's dropping an Envision.
Oh, the gold base. PartinG should have saturated that gold base on the right-hand side because he could have mined it out before he died. Now he dies, and Life could make this base his.
Good indeed. Probably will soon because there's still quite a lot of juicy minerals there and quite a lot of gas in the extractors as well. Zealots coming down, getting that last Spire. The Greater Spire will go down. And Ultra Cavern hasn't been used all game, but it looks pretty.
He finally realizes the weakness in the defense of those bases here for Life, but I think it's too late.
Yeah. The clock struck 12 a little bit too late here for PartinG.
PartinG's out of gas. He's completely out of gas.
Which means no more Tempest, means no more Templar, and he has to go all in here and try and get something done.
When you run out of gas like this, the only thing you can make is Zealots, and those are not good against Locusts.
And not to mention the Spine Crawler count as well. Quite a lot of Spine Crawlers here. And the Colossus at the back, the Tempest doing as much as they can, PartinG positioning as well as he can, but Life just has too much. He's played this game too well. Storm's going down. He's actually losing some Vipers here, but it's still just the static defense could almost win the fight.
He still has 4 Vipers.
Yeah. 9 more Corruptors on the way. 20 Swarm Hosts still alive, and they've been the clutch unit for in this game. Templar's going deep. Looking for big storms, but he's going to lose some to the Locust, and this is just stuff he cannot lose.
Yeah, every single unit counts here. PartinG down to 135 supply to 191 against the Life, who still has a bank as well. The army supply, 174 here for Life against 111 for PartinG. How is PartinG ever going to win this game? Unless he could somehow win the air fights. But I mean, it's 16 Tempests, I guess 45 Corruptors. I don't think I've ever seen 45 Corruptors in a single game at the same time, but somehow Life made it. With 4 Vipers, those are some pretty quick snipes that he can get on the air units, Maynard. Yeah,
and that's pretty much a one-shot in anything that flies in the air with that many Corruptors. They have +3 as well. PartinG just holding, but this is a death animation I feel like we're looking at here. PartinG just tries to do what he can and hold and not take too much damage, but he doesn't have an answer to this Locust wave. He has no other answer. Another Tempest going down.
To these abducts. Never really been able to have any significant feedback here against sometimes, you know, even full energy Vipers that came right into him. Just look at the flower that Life makes every single time he goes in.
Yeah, another pick up there. The Oracle goes down.
This has been the reason why you can't feed back his Vipers. He makes it so difficult. He has a bunch of Overseer, which, I mean, you could feed back, but who cares? You don't want to feed back Overseers. You just want to get the Vipers. They're like right in the middle of the Corruptors.
Storm's going down, and really all Life needs to do here is just be patient. Wait for his Swarm Host to keep him zoned out, let his static defense tell the tale here.
All right, Maynard, I'm pretty sure that this is the last Mothership that we're going to see, so we better make this one count here.
Yeah, he's got to keep his units cloaked, can't take any more damage, but that said, though, he's positioning himself away from the Nexus. The army supply is astronomically in Life's
What?
favor.
What the
174
hell?
over the 98 of PartinG.
What the hell?
And they are pretty much all Tempest. He's only got 3 Colossus, 13 Tempest in the air, and they are the unit he needs. But, at this point, this engagement once again going reasonably terribly for PartinG. Actually, he took a lot of damage on the Corruptors, so he did zone him out that one time. He's desperately trying to get another Nexus out.
Finally, he took a lot of damage on the Corruptors, but I mean, at this point, it's 43 Corruptors against 13 Tempest, and I think all the Templars died. PartinG just erupted
He has
2 Templars, so that means they're going to build up on energy, but 2 Templars, they're not going to do enough against this many Corruptors.
and a Zealot run by, but Life's already on the ball. He's setting some
Who cares, man?
Locust down. There's just, I mean, yeah. He can't get it done here. He's getting the Infestation Pit, but I'm pretty sure Life has another one somewhere. He doesn't even actually need to make anything out of the Infestation Pit. He's got enough units to seal the deal here.
Light might even be happy to do some buildings. He doesn't even care at this point. Like this, even if PartinG went for the base trade, he could have killed every single base of Life that he wanted, but this position in the center with all the static defense, Swarmos, Corruptor, Vipers, he's never gonna die no matter what. Like,
And PartinG is only mining minerals. Only mining minerals. He's completely out of gas. No gas income at all.
yeah, so he's gonna have 1 mothership, 13 Tempest, 1 Archon, 9 Zealots, and 2 Templars to work with. But I mean, against a Life who has 20 Swarmos, 48 Corruptors, there's just not much that PartinG's gonna be able to do. And very, very soon he's gonna run out of minerals as well.
Yeah, these Zealots doing damage back at home for Life. Nice storms, actually, but I think that's the last Templar we'll see in this game. The resource is lost. Oh my god, 518, also 51,800 versus 37,700 for Life. Ridiculous. 20,000 discrepancy there.
I think that's what we can call cost effective here.
Yeah, I think we can. Swarmhost, pretty cost effective. Spinecrawlers, also pretty good. Templars,
Those
Tempest
Corruptors are
doing
very
damage.
low.
They are, but
If Life somehow, like, you know,
they recharge over
run
time.
in there,
He just needs
made
to be
a
patient.
flower for the Templars to storm everything, maybe he could lose, but I'm pretty sure that's not gonna happen.
What Templars, Todd? There's only one left.
It's the one Templar that PartinG needs.
The little Templar
and
that could.
deserves.
He's getting hatcheries, but he doesn't need to produce.
Oh, God, the abducts!
Bigger ducks here. Tempest going down. More Tempest going down. The Corruptor's going down, and this is it. Life has got himself a grand final spot. He is going to be our first grand finalist as PartinG loses everything that he has left. The army supply is 0 versus Life here, and PartinG 22 supply. It's all probes. GG Life, the greatest Zerg in the world, gets himself a grand final spot at Intel Extreme Masters Taipei, and well done to him. Oh, he comes out on stage, the smug grin all over his face. And PartinG looked like he had a good time too. No love lost between these good friends. And there is your first grand finalist, man. What do you think about that series?
It was a great series, man. PartinG went into this very confident, and Life didn't seem to care much at all. Just smiled the whole time, cracked jokes, and owned him. Simple as that. I don't think that Life will call PartinG a noob, though, even though he knows that if this had gone the other way around, it probably would have happened.
Yeah, well, PartinG has a lot to say, but didn't have the backup with his strong words today. But I actually really loved the smack talk from PartinG all this tournament. He's been really entertaining.
It's definitely been fun of him to put on a show like this. It's been a good show, man, but sadly he's out of the tournament now, and it's all about Life.
It is. Life moves on to the grand finals. We'll be facing either Maru or Solki, which we'll be finding out very shortly. That's our next best of 5. And looks like we're going to cross over to the desk with Paul.
Thank you very much, Maynard and Todd there with the commentary from our first semi-final. And it is, unfortunately, a loss for the big boy himself. PartinG crashes out at the semi-final stage despite giving us a fantastic weekend of entertainment. And, gentlemen, I think it was probably about right. You called it, Sean. You said Life would go through. He has. Other than the last 2 maps, let's just talk about the whole match as a whole and then maybe break down the maps as they go through. Do you feel maybe PartinG underestimated Life a little bit? Maybe he didn't play to the strengths that he did in the previous rounds?
PartinG didn't play to his strengths overall. Game 1 and Game 2, those are the types of games the series should have been like throughout all of it. Game 3 and Game 4, he played too passive. He played the regular type of Protoss play we see from other Protoss players. We didn't see an Immortal in, we didn't see Warp Prison Ras, he didn't go into 7 gates or any type of aggressive play. In these types of scenarios, he should have done.
Yeah. Game 3, had some similarities with Rain and Sulky yesterday, which we saw Sulky win 2 games in a row, very similar, not the same, but similar in style, and specifically in Game 4 actually was very similar to what we saw yesterday. I look at it and I feel like it's unwinnable for Protoss. Yeah, I don't know how he gets out of that. You know, he's covered in air. The Vipers are abducting everything he makes. He's losing motherships all over the place. The Swarm hosts are covering the ground game. So when you say he was very static, and he was, did he have any choice?
The thing is what you're looking at is the end product of the early and mid game there.
Yeah.
You need to go deeper into the game and look what happened at the start of it.
Yep.
And what happened at the start of it is that Live played so greedy on Deadwing. He didn't take gas until 7-8 minutes or something. It was pure minerals, only queens.
And Kalaris remarked that he was literally, as soon as he saw the creep spread, actually, Kalaris called it, he was like, this is creep spread with Swarm hosts.
Yeah.
If he can shut out the Shumers and cut them down, then
I mean, he could have killed him before the queens even pushed the creep out. Like, he just would have died against any type of aggressive play.
Okay, very interesting.
PartinG initially identified it pretty well, I would say, with his initial push out. Saw how many queens were there.
Definitely in the second version of that, but the first one maybe he got caught out, didn't he?
But I'm referring more to the Deadwing one than the other one, because the way the fourth one worked, his Phoenix are actually denying a little bit of the creep spread for a while, which is kind of cool because the queens were so busy defending. But in the third map, he identified it, I would say, pretty well, but there's such a huge window for Zerg, if you're only on gateway units, to be able to push that creep out fast and fast and fast, because there's 8 queens worth pushing it out, that as a Protoss, it's a very, very scary thing to deal with.
The thing is, it's so difficult to look at PartinG as a player because he's passive at the wrong time, and he's aggressive at the wrong time. But you know, it's really weird because if you think about it, in that game specifically, Deadwing, he should have been aggressive at the start when he was passive, and then he was overly aggressive when he should have been passive towards the later game, because he did be too aggressive, walked into Swarmos, lost too many units, and he couldn't get his Colossus switch in, which he would have done if he'd taken it a little bit slower and more cautiously.
We are going to talk a little bit about how Life managed to win in his semi-finals to reach his second Intel Extreme Masters. But first, let's hear from the man himself.
Hello, everyone. Thank you very much, Paul. Here I stand with our first finalist. This is Life. Everyone, let's give him a round of applause. Now, Life, you had told me that your condition wasn't very good this morning. You didn't get a lot of sleep, you know, and a lot of people thought that PartinG was going to win. So how is your condition now? How do you feel now?
지금도 컨디션이 많이 안 좋은데 이사경이라서 그냥 이긴 것 같아. 이사경이 이어서 이긴 것 같아.
He said, my condition's not very good even now, but I think I won just because I was playing against PartinG. I think the only reason I won is because it was PartinG. Okay, well, you and PartinG, in between games, you were chatting a lot because the camera showed your face and you're laughing. And what were you guys talking about?
제가 이사경이 자꾸 열받는다고 채팅 쳐가지고 너무 웃겨가지고 제가 이긴 것도 그래서 그냥 계속 웃었어요. 얘기하면서.
So when PartinG lost, he was chatting to him saying, I'm so annoyed, I can't believe I lost this, and he was just kind of laughing at him, and you know, he's kind of, they're basically trash talking one another with in between games, and here he is, he's won it. All right, well, you had beaten Sulky 2-0, you crushed Hydra. Zerg is obviously easy for you, so I'm not going to ask about that. If you have to play against Maru, however, how are you preparing for that? 마루 선수랑은 어떻게 준비할 건데?
소울키랑 마루 선수? 정상적인 컨디션이면 그냥 무난하게 둘 다 이길 것 같은데 제가 지금 컨디션이 많이 안 좋아가지고 그냥 적당히 누가 올라오는지 보고 생각해봐야 할 것 같아.
He said, you know, if I was in top condition right now, I wouldn't even care who I'm playing against. It would just be easy. But right now, he's not in tip-top shape. He's just going to have to go with it and win, I guess. That's what he did with PartinG, right? So, lastly, PartinG has been talking trash this entire tournament, said, you're easy peasy, you're such a noob. Do you have something you want to say to PartinG? He's over there. Do you want to say something?
예? 뭐? 파팅 영어로 못할 것 같은데?
알았어, 한국말 해, 괜찮아.
그냥 좀 더 열심히 해서 좀 잘해주셨으면 좋겠어요.
He said, I wish that you would practice a bit more and maybe be a better player for next time. All right, that's what he's saying to PartinG. So with that, I am going to bring it back to the desk. Back to you, Paul.
Thank you very much, Susie. Susie with life there, and oh well, that was Todd and Maynard still, chilling with their socks,
legs in the air.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's talk about life. We've talked about the failing of PartinG. We've talked about how he's capitulated in this semi-final, but let's talk about life. He is such a tremendous talent. He's the reigning world champion. He's won 8 titles in the past, youngest GSL champion, Royal Roader, youngest Intel Extreme Masters champion, youngest world champion. I mean, he's done so much. And yet all we talked about before the game was how PartinG was going to win this. And life's done it. 3-1. Very impressive yet again.
Very, very impressive. But there's a bigger challenge still to come, especially if Maru makes it to the finals.
Yeah, okay. Well, we're going to talk about that one after the break. But James, sum up what you think of life so far at the Intel Extreme Masters in Taipei.
Well, I mean, not only just this series, but all across the entirety of the tournament so far. It's been very interesting to watch life go from one extreme to another. When you even just look at this series alone, he's able to play so well in the early game, even take the wins off PartinG, where PartinG had created a bizarre situation in game number 1. And then, of course, there's the flip side, where he just likes to draw the game out really long with the Swarm Host style and execute it really, really well as well. Not only in the third map, where he was playing it hyper-aggressively to just push the creep across, but also on Varney Research Station, where he can play the extremely defensive one.
Sean, there was a suggestion, and just a suggestion, that he couldn't use Swarm Host, that he wasn't very good with it. We've seen him in the past try and use it, and it hasn't really worked out too well. It worked fine today.
Oh, he said it himself that he doesn't really play this very well, and it's very difficult for him to do it. But this is, I think we can all agree, any Zerg player out there who's watching this can say this is the best way to approach playing against Protoss. Yeah. Any other way is inferior. Swarm Hosts are the best way to deal with Protoss.
Yeah, we saw it yesterday with Sulky. How much of that do you think Life watched and took on board?
Probably
because there were some similarities. I mean, Claris actually said to me, no, it's not the same. And he's right, it wasn't the same, but it had some similarities. It had some feels that were similar.
Life's definitely his core strategy against Protoss is Swarm Host, and that probably would have reinforced not to try anything today. It worked yesterday for Sulky versus Rain, so that probably said, okay, I don't want to do anything too crazy. I don't want to mix up my style too much and just do what I do best.
Okay, all right, thank you very much. Claris and Todd will be back after the break when we head into our second semi-final of the day. It just gets better and better. It's Maru versus Sulky next.